Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me here at Portman Road. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are watching from. Let me know. I really hope that... Good morning. There we go. We've been joined by Rodney. Good to see you. There we go. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for Rodney for coming to say hello as we kick off the live video here today. To preview Ipswich Town's big home game against Blackburn Rovers, the second league game of 2026. Am I prepared for all of this yet? Shane says, I'm going to get this in early now because he's put this in. Give us a wave, AJ, down by the tunnel. Can I see Shane? I don't know. I might be able to. Shane, I can't see you. You've got to wave at me. I don't know if you can see me, Shane. Anyway, hello. Thank you for joining me here at Portman Road. Blackburn Rovers, the visitors today for a big championship game. One that is going to be really important for Ipswich. Of course, all these league games will be. But after last night, Middlesbrough beating West Brom 3-2, that 90th minute goal. If it had ended 2-2, Town would have had the opportunity to go second today. They won't. It will be about closing the gap again on Borough, knowing that with the 2 games in hand that they now have, they can go back to second. So we're going to start off with some team news, which I have not pre-prepared because I've been in a real rush to get this set up. However, I do have the team here. Let me copy and paste it. There we go. Your Ipswich Town team. Still can't see you, Shane. Oh. We'll find you, Shane. I know. Well, it's 2 changes for Ipswich Town. A 4-2-3-1. Walton starting in goal, the same consistent backline that we've had. Furlong, O'Shea, Kiprate and Davis making up that defensive line. Matasi was partnering Jack Taylor. Taylor comes in for Jens Kjuster today as one of the 2 changes. Sindra Wala Egeli on the right. Jaden Philogene, Mr. Portman Road on the left. Marcelino Nunez playing as the 10 behind George Hurst, who returned from his groin injury that he suffered against Sheffield Wednesday last month, just before Christmas. So a pretty speedy return for George Hurst, which is good. That is, of course, 2 changes from the last championship game, which was at home to Oxford United on New Year's Day. They have since played in the Cup, of course. That was the 2-1 win against Blackpool. And I'm trying not to get my Blackpools and my Blackburns confused. So yeah, 2 changes from that Oxford United game. Let's talk through it then. I think it's pretty much, again, reverting back to the strongest team. It is actually the exact starting lineup that I predicted for this game, which is good. I haven't done too many of those this season. But yeah, full marks for me on this one. I think it's the strongest team from what I've seen, and I think especially in a game like this, maybe 1 or 2 of those trickier decisions. For example, Jack Taylor starting in midfield, I think this was a more suitable game for him to start over Jens Kjuster, for example. But the back line picks itself. I'm so happy that we're in a spot now where we're consistently seeing the same back line. It's really harsh as well, it should be said, on Jacob Greaves, who is brilliant and has been brilliant for that game against Blackpool last week. Scored the goal, man, that performance. And then he drops back down to the bench. But that's the nature of where we're at in this team at the moment, where competition is so fierce, and Cedric Kiprate has been very difficult to stop so far this campaign from a defensive point of view, and even from set pieces as well. Really, really good. So it's good to have that consistency. As well, Matasiwa, of course, now just 1 booking away, or still, I should say, just 1 booking away from his 2-match ban. That would be a huge blow if he picks it up today. See him miss Bristol City, the Sam Morsey reunion in midweek, and then the trip to the form team in the division, Sheffield United, next weekend. So really important that he can hopefully tread that tightrope for a little bit longer. He's done really well with that so far. But Town could do with some cover in his position, couldn't they? Partnering Jack Taylor, as I said, I think this suits Jack Taylor a little bit more, to be perfectly honest. I think that the way Kieran McKenna described this game is really interesting, and he went into kind of the tactical nuances of it all, about how it's going to be a lot of man marking from Blackburn. They're going to want to sit off and invite the pressure on, but they'll also stick tight to people to ensure that there's very few kind of passing opportunities. I think it's going to be a game for a bit of grit and fight. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game, and I think those are the games that Jens used to suit more. So I'm quite happy to see Jack Taylor in for this one. Cinderella Igeli back in, which is really good. Hopefully he can build on the couple of goals that he scored last month against Coventry and against Blackburn, of course. So we're hoping to make it 2 in 3, technically, I suppose, against Blackburn. Scored in the game that actually went on the record rather than the one that was postponed. That last-minute equaliser at Ewood Park. So, that's one of the consistencies from that game. The Marcelino Nunez in the 10. We had the Jack Taylor experiment last week. I think it was good to see. I liked a lot of it. I didn't like some of it. I think that there are more positives that came from it than negatives, but I'm a little bit hesitant to see it from the start in a league game, would be my point. I would like to see it at some point, but while Marcelino Nunez is delivering the way that he is, I don't think there's the need. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see it, actually, those two players on the pitch at the same time. I think that Clark, is so good at picking the lock, isn't he? And helping to break down those low block defences. Jaden Villagine, no comments needed. I think the world got to see his press conference yesterday. He's a lovely lad, but I think he's quite shy as well. He's not the sharpest or lengthiest talker, let's say. And then George Hurst back up front, really, really good this. There's no Tube Ratcom in the squad, it should be said. There's no Casey McAteer, from what I've heard. I haven't had this verified yet. I believe that McAteer's an illness. I'm not sure on Tube Ratcom. No, did I get the right way around? Yeah, I'm not sure on Tube Ratcom yet. But I believe McAteer is an illness. We'll have to wait and see. But that's kind of what I've heard spoken around the press box. So we'll have to wait and see what Kieran McKenna says on those absentees after the game. But yeah, George Hurst in up front. Akpom's done really well in his absence, I think, to be honest. I know it hasn't been perfect, but big strides forward from him. Even as on, yet to be convinced from a starting role, I've got to be honest. I think he's a really good substitute. I just don't feel like Ipswich can put too much weight on him as a regular starter. So really good to have George Hurst back, because of course the search for a striker continues. And on the bench, Alec Palmer, Wes Burns, Jens Kajusta, Ashley Young, Ben Johnson, Sam Smoddock against his former club, Jacob Reeves, Even Azon, and Jack Clark substitutes. Today, as I said, no Chuba Akpom on the bench and no Casey McAteer. We'll have to wait and see for the official reason of those. Let's have a look at the Blackburn Rovers team. Injury hit. Have I got this on a timer? I think I have, which is a bit of an annoying one, so it's going to vanish in a second. There it is at the bottom before it vanishes. Let's bring it back up again. So 3-5-2. There's different ways to see this. It's kind of seen it put as a 3-4-1-2 as well, but the way that I've been told is that it's kind of one sitter behind 2 8s. Still is coming off, which is a real pain. But can I change that? We'll just do this one more time anyway. Toth in goal, Aitchison, McLaughlin and Cashin, the defenders. Gardner Hickman, we're expecting a right wing back. Tronstad as the sitter, either side of Baraji and Cantwell. Deneva as the left wing back. Henriksen and Ahashi as the 2 forward men. Here we go. I've figured out how to change this now. Well done, Alex. We got there in the end. No timer on now. So there's championship quality in there. There's good, experienced players. Todd Cantwell's a really good player. He's the captain. Obviously won't get a warm reception here due to his links to a certain other team in the division in East Anglia, but you can't look past what he can bring. He is technically by far and away the best player in this Blackburn Rovers team. There's other players that I like in there. Tronstad's really held his own in that deeper line midfield role. Yuki Ahashi, I think, is a good threat, especially for a team that is quite low in possession. They stretch the pitch with Deneva. It's a big blow. They haven't got a natural right wing back in this team, because that's going to be an area for Jaden Philogene in particular to hurt. He will be my pick for first goal scorer. He is my pick for first goal scorer, and I think that he can do some real damage down that left flank today. But obviously, it's a team that's set up to sit deep and frustrate and not have too much time on the ball. We'll have to wait and see what that looks like. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit thin on the ground. The fact that they've got Aitchison back in, who I think was out on loan. O'Riordan's on the bench. He was out on loan. They got George Pratt on the bench. They recalled him from his loan at Chorley in the National League North because they were short of defenders, and he's been starting pretty regularly as well. Again, good quality in fits, good experience. Yuri Ribeiro's played at a decent level for Nottingham Forest. Harry Pickering's had good experience with Blackburn over a long period now. And Forshaw, blimey, still go good experience pro, but also some youngsters in there, Brandon Hout and Jovan Doherty. Have I said that right? Who knows? So there you go. There's your team. Let's have a little look at some of the comments. Shane, who is here somewhere and watching me, which makes me feel uncomfortable. You are somewhere, Shane. I don't know where, Shane. It says Upper Town, Shane. Ben Southgate, good evening from Sydney. I hope this is more interesting than the other two Blackburn games, so I can stay awake. Should we talk a little bit about Blackburn then? We're not going to go on too long here because I want to be done by 1:15. But looking at their results, it's a lot of draws. They were a very drawy team. They've only lost once in 90 minutes in their last 5 games, but they've drawn 4 of them. 0-0 away at Middlesbrough, 0-0 away at Sheffield Wednesday, 0-0 in the Cup away at Hull, beaten on penalties in that game. They don't concede too many when they travel, but they're not really a winning team. They've been good at frustrating. Ultimately, I think with the situation that Valerian Ismail finds himself in, that is quite important, that if you're not going to win games, which they haven't been, that you don't lose them, and that is what is keeping them above that dotted line, where teams like Pompey and Oxford and Norwich to an extent, and certainly Sheffield Wednesday, aren't able to turn those defeats into draws, and those are the margins that ultimately can make the difference. So, yeah, not an entertaining team, not expecting a thriller of a game. Let's put it that way. Another comment from Shane. Kipray is gargantuan. I assume that comes from being down there somewhere. Stood nearest to Cedric Kipray. He is huge. Brilliant table up there. Yeah, he is a big old boy. I would hate to be marking him on set pieces. That is all I will say. A real threat, isn't he? A fantastic defender. You know who else is really big? He's not in the team today or in the squad. Again, really goes under the radar until you're stood next to him. Chuba Akpom, big boy. CL Blue says, Blue Army. Dino says, afternoon. Alex, is Akpom ill or injured? Haven't heard on Chuba Akpom at the moment. Kieran McKenna did say in the build-up to the game that they have had some kind of little issues in the week they need to assess. You don't want to take risks because the squad is stacked. So, I would assume it's something like that. It's one or the other. There is illness going around. We all know Liam Rossini is down at Chelsea telling players to wash their hands, apparently, and build Lego sets, according to a report from the Daily Mail. So maybe that's what we need at Ipswich. We need some hand-washing lessons and some Lego building competitions. Shane says, happy belated 67th birthday, Stu. I got a laugh from Stu. I don't know if we actually got the number right when we did the podcast. Have you listened to the podcast that we recorded yet? I assume you probably haven't. He's not even listening to me. Oh, well. Kean says, up at Sowen. Chris says, come on Ipswich, a good side versus depleted Blackburn. Yeah, it is, although coming up against depleted sides can also be kind of a beware the wounded animal situation. They're not going to come and play football, let's be honest. They're not going to have the ball on the ground. They're not going to be playing little pretty passing patterns to try and break Ipswich down. They're going to try and strike on the counter. They're going to be direct. They're going to try and frustrate. So when you've got so many absentees, almost opens the door for that a little bit more. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that there will be other games against stronger teams that will suit Ipswich more than playing a defeated Blackburn today, but we'll have to wait and see. Death X Diabetes, what a name. Says, checking in from NYC. Love it. I will be there in literally 4 weeks today, which is great. I'll be flying out for my holiday in February. Death X Diabetes. Any recommendations of what to do as a tourist for 5 days in New York, please let me know. But thank you for checking in, and I hope that you are enjoying. We'll do another 5 minutes or so. I'm going to bring up the team for people that have joined late. Here is your Ipswich Town team. Walton in goal, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipray, Davis is the back line, Matasiwa, Taylor in midfield, Wella Igeli, Nunez, Villagine, and Hurst playing in front of them. While we wait for a few more comments as well, I think it's important to touch on what's to come. And you don't want to look too far ahead, do you? Because this is a big game, it's a big week, but it's also heading towards a congested run now. There's obviously 3 games this week. Bristol City on Tuesday night will be here. Then we're off to Bramall Lane, where Sheffield United, as I mentioned earlier, are the form team in the division. They're looking really, really good, aside from that cup exit to Mansfield last weekend. 4-3. Weird. Yeah, fair enough. Then there's a full week off before hosting Preston here, looking for a bit of revenge against them. I did not enjoy my trip to Deepdale this season. I'm hoping for a little bit better, but they're a really tough nut to crack. They don't lose too many games. And then it starts to become busy. Then it's 5 away games on the bounce. We go to Pompey on a Tuesday night. We go to Derby for half 12 kickoff. We're at Wrexham in the Cup for a 7:45 kickoff. We're then back at Wrexham 8 days later for a 3 o'clock kickoff in the Championship. And then it's Watford on a Tuesday night away from home after that. The mileage will be racking up. I think it is the worst FA Cup draw possible. Of course, it's going to be really heavy, isn't it? It's going to be really, really tough to get through that period. But if there's a team that has the depth to handle that, it's certainly going to be Ipswich Town with the quality that they have at their disposal. So we'll have to wait, see. It comes back, of course, after that run with, I think it's Swansea and Leicester at home. I think it might be back-to-back home games after that one. Much needed after what is going to be a lot of travel. Fair play if you're going to all the games. I won't be because of that trip to New York. Netflix Diabetes says, come to the town bar here. If you can tell me where that town bar is, I will be there. Where the Ipswich bar is in New York. I didn't know there was one. I thought they just had like the Liverpool bar, like the Carragher's bar. But I'd love to come to an Ipswich Town bar in New York, and I will add that to the list if there is that thing. And we can watch. There's no games I'm missing actually while I'm over there. I don't know. Maybe they'll put Cambridge v Colchester on the Tuesday night. I don't know what time that will be in New York though. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. We are approaching 15:15 now, which is the time I said we'd wrap it up so we can look ahead to the game. We'll go back through it again. Walton in goal, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipper and Davis in your back line. Matasiwa and Taylor, the 2 in midfield. Violet Gelly on the right. Nunez with the middle. Dunjean, Mr. Portman Road on the left. Hurst up top. A quick one on the Blackburn team. For those of you who weren't here earlier, Toth in goal. Aitchison, McLaughlin, Cashin as the back 3. We're expecting Tronsad to be the sitter. Gardner, Hickman and Deneva as the wing backs. Baraji and Cantwell as those 2-8s. Hendrickson up front with Yuki Akashi as the Blackburn Rovers team. There we go, 12-14. We're going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for Rodney for showing up earlier and saying hello. I didn't think you knew I was recording, so I feel a bit bad for dragging him on. Thank you for Stu for dancing behind me. Thank you to you for coming and watching. Enjoy the game. If you're not here, you can follow it with us. Stu's got the live blog up and running for subscribers. We've got our new deal on £3 for 3 months. We're pushing that hard. It's a really good deal. It's one of our most popular deals. Go and check that out. I'll post some links in the next few days. But if you want to go get it now, I know Mark's tweeted it. I know other people have. You'll be online. Go check it out if you're not subscribed. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the game. We'll see you on the other side.